Hello, Sean again. So here I am out in Norfolk, bags of nothing behind me, fantastic cloud shapes, lots of light that keep hitting the trees in the distance there. But this is what we're going to have a go at. We're also going to include this tree. You can see this tree here. We're going to have a little go at that one as well. We're going to pop that in, but in the distance. And this goes off to quite a few layers. Anyway, we're going to get into it. Let's stop talking and just get paint. All nice and clean palette as normal. We're just going to get some water in. Amazing when the sun comes here. Lots of shadows coming across. The light is coming in from this left-hand side across. Beautiful. Let's give it a general wash there. We're going in with a large number 12 mop brush. Some beautiful clouds. Beautiful cloud colour. We'll get these in. Suggest these coming down. Hopefully we get some soft and hard edges. Ultramarine. Should dry quite quickly today. It's very windy. There's touches of ultramarine popping in here and there. A bit of dry, want some soft edges, hard edges. And along here we need some yellow ochre as it warms up, coming down. Over the back of these trees here. Just carefully go around this figure. Just establishing the kind of basic hue. Keep that nice and light there. We'll just probably dab out a little bit more there as well. Now we'll just about do it. We'll keep a few of these little highlights in there. We'll take out just around here while it's still damp enough to do it. So our darkest dark with designer is going to be around here. Darkest dark, lightest light. Probably have this character in a pale colour, maybe white. The dog obviously going to be black. The tree is going to be very dark as well. This should dry quite quickly. That's a nice bit of granulation going on there. Just feeling this with the back of my finger to make sure it's the right wetness. So coming in with this Fumio number 6. Some real distant tree lines back here, so we're just gonna pop that in. That's a very strong colour, but that'll dry fine. Take out some of that as that bleeds down. Don't want it. We want some kind of softness and blurredness, so I'm going to just encourage that to go back up that way a little bit. So you'll just have to wait a few seconds for that to do its thing. I will encourage it to do its thing by just, you've seen me doing this if you're watching my videos before countless times, just running in some clear water for that to run. Some beautiful shadows in today. I just want to bring in a little bit of neutral tint on this side here. Just going to pop that in now just to grey this up a little bit here. It's quite a strong colour here, this blue. The feeling of trees in the background kind of blurred. That's what we want. Just clear water again. Just encourage it to do what I want it to do, not what it wants to do. A little friendly insect dropping in there as well. Okay, nice. We'll let that do its thing. Let's test this. Can dry pretty fast. I'm going to put in some burnt umber in here for this distance. Going carefully around that figure. Indispensable watercolour hues, colours: raw umber, burnt umber, raw sienna, all these kind of browns and greens. They're indispensable out here, I tell you. There's a lot of dust flying around, which I'm trying to capture this kind of feel of it being quite dusty. Strengthen up some of that raw umber here. We've got a bit of a fence there, so we need to be careful. I want that to bleed and stuff in here. We'll leave that gap there open. We don't want everything to go in there. We've got a fence kind of running in here. We've got a hedgerow running in here. It looks like a hawthorn hedge. We've got lost and found edges. We've got a few sharp bits that we need to allow to dry off. Just clear water again. Just encourage that down. Let that dry. It's dried fast. Right, while that's all drying off, we can work on the soil. The soil's quite a light brown around here. So we're going to go again, we'll keep them with the same kind of family of colours. We're going to go with the raw and a touch of this yellow ochre that's there, and raw umber. Yellow ochre, raw umber. I might pop in a little bit of sepia in a second. That's nice. These lines coming in. Remember, we'd already put in yellow ochre as well. Just a little bit thicker, just a little bit. And then just water here. Going to fade this up. Linking up some of the passages. Let's take out some of this. Let's keep this the focal point. There we go. This is our hedgerow here, so we don't need to worry too much about that. On this side we need to, it's quite going to, oh, beautiful light come out now. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go in for some cadmium yellow and pop that in just to warm up there. We use the same cad as a base for the trees here. Lots of beautiful spring colours today. Just let that dry off as well. We're going to be coming a lot darker here. This will stay quite light. take out that while I still can. There's going to be another bank of trees there, but I want light to come through. There's going to be another bank there, and then some more trees here. There's some more trees here in the background as well. Amazing dusts that fly up around here. And some very deep dark shadows. Let the sun stay so I can capture them. While this is drying off there, I'm just going to work on the tree. So for the tree, I'm mixing up 3 colours. I'm mixing up neutral tint, a touch of ultramarine, and a touch of burnt sienna. It's quite liquidy. See if I've got that right as we go in. Okay. Just take some of the liquid off. It's very liquidy. I'm going to encourage that back up the other way. Just getting a bit of a run at the bottom. I'll save that brush for a moment. Let's go on with a finer brush with the same mixtures. The same 3. Quite hard to see a lot of the branches coming out on this tree. Kind of covered up with a lot of foliage, but I'm just going to pop in where they roughly are so I can build the foliage around that. Some of them are coming down, so a lot of this will be lost as I paint in the darker foliage, but some of it will break through. Just a couple more in here. A little bit of dry brush. It's kind of got the feel of this one. Go a little bit thicker slightly here. Right, that's fine. And then we will pop in the foliage on that. In the background, this is dried off enough, all of it, to start to work into some of this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trees coming through. Early spring, very fresh colours. Pick out some of these trunks that I can see. Some over here. We'll vary the colour here. That we got a hedgerow, so we need to be careful there, because some of this we're just only going to see touches of. And back here there are a few more trees. Now here there was a whole bunch of conifers back there. The sunlight has just absolutely bleached those out now. Earlier they were really, really strong. I'm going to pop in this fence just to help me a little bit. just leave her there for the moment. I'll put some bits, it's all still burnt sienna. Just a bit of dry brush in here to tie this up. I think I'm going to work on this side now. There's a lot of beautiful shadows. Just going straight in. Cadmium yellow. It's very strong cad yellow. We have to be careful with that. Incredibly strong paint. But I'm going to work straight into it with a mixture of what we've got in here and warm it up slightly. I need to smash off some of this so I can get the effect that I want. That's better. And lots of this is ultramarine and burnt sienna again. Kind of must retain the light that's coming through on some of these bits. Make sure I capture the shadows. Most of those shadows are down below this foliage. Same three mixtures really. There we go. That'll do. Now over here, got a similar kind of tone, a little bit of a hedgerow. So I'm just going to put that in the distance, mix up a little bit of dry brush, a little bit of lost and found edges, sharp edges. Take some of this mixture off and dry brush in this part that's coming over. The shape of this tree. And we'll change some of the light coming in through there. That'll do. Change brushes. Should have number 6 in here somewhere. There it is. It's hiding. Number 6 is Skoda. Same mix, just a bit watered down in the distance here. That's going to create a bit of recession. We don't want it all sharp edges, so we'll have a little bit of lost and found in there. That's helping that push that back. There is another hedgerow here. And I'm just going to warm up that same mixture that we had and pop that in along here. We've got the fence there, so I'll leave that. I'll blur off some of this. That's better. Encourage it to go that way. Let's get this as a little fly on there. Just, trying to get into the paint and look at that little fly. Interesting. He seems happy there. Just going to scratch in a couple of highlights here. Literally 2, couple. That was it. Same mixture here. So we've got light patches and dark patches, and I just again put in a little bit of clear water there if you saw that. So we're going light and dark just to keep this sort of counter change going. That's the term. Let's put in some of these plough bits. Guide the eye towards these characters. The characters being the dog and the person out walking as well. This is a little bit of neutral tint just to create a little bit of variation. Should be enough. Put in a few suggestions of grasses and things like that. Pop those in with just the leftovers of what was, hopefully you saw that, just whatever's in here. A bit finer. We're going to bring some shadows in across here as well, and there might be a few popping off out here. We're getting close now. Let's pop in this tiny, it's too thick. See if we can run that off there with just clear water. Tap that out a touch. It's better. Tone that down. I just didn't like the thickness of that. It's just the paint was too thick, basically. It didn't get dry enough on the palette. That's better. Right, trees that are in the background here, I'm going to put the foliage into these quite quickly. I'm using the same sorts of mixtures with some burnt sienna, touch of cadmium yellow here for this. That's amazing light coming in. Just want to retain some of the light coming in through these bits here as well. You can kind of see the design of that moving down, and that's fine and enough. Come in slightly, a lot of these down at the lower end. I don't see, just seem to get darker. It's the shadows that are coming in. A little bit of dry brush there. Just distance going back. There's some more here. I will push that back, as we know it's quite blue. Let's just use some of this as well. We're almost done, guys. Right, what we need to do next is pop in some shadows, but before we do that, we just need to finish off this tree and define the dog and the figure. So I just want to show you this. I just went like that on my finger just before it dried. I didn't film it, sorry about that, but literally that's all I did was like that, just to create kind of a bit of texture. Now then, we're going to go into the dog and the figure. I don't want this too wet. We've gone in kind of pencil style by holding this quite close for control. The brush, there we go. let's change up this woman. Let's put some jeans on them. It's a bit blue. That's about right. Head, burnt sienna. And we're just going to leave that for the moment. I always say that, don't I? We're just going to leave that, but actually gone back into the burnt sienna. Quite dry, I need this, so I'm just going to take off some of the liquid. Just to pop in their arms. Quite dry brush style. Now we're going to work on the tree. The main tree, this huge, I think it's a Scots pine. Needed quite a bit of mixture for this. So we've got an ultramarine, whatever leftovers were in there. Touch of neutral tint and a touch of cadmium, yellow. So let's see, we'll start in the middle. If you start in the middle, then it's kind of easier. And obviously it depends what directions you want this to go. The side, it's kind of just getting the feel of the way these branches are kind of shaped, moving. That's really all I'm doing. And looking carefully to see how that's working. Predominantly round the main trunk is where most of the kind of foliage is. And then it's dried off very quickly. Look, I'm just going to go a little bit darker in some of these areas. Could go darker still. Where the shadows are hitting. I think I've kind of got the flavour of it, and that will do. All very nice dry brush stuff there going on. Yep, I'm happy with that. That turned out nicely. Okay, it's shadow time. So with shadow time, we need to be thinking about shadows, obviously, but I'm waiting for the shadows to come. The light's not broken through the clouds yet. I mean, in the distance I can see shadows, so I could work on those. But I kind of want to get this in here. So I've used ultramarine. I've done crimson as well, and there's a touch of the leftovers that were in there. Looks like a kind of warmish mix. So that suggests at the front, so we've got a warmer mix at the front, a cooler mix at the back, the same types of colours. There's been lots of cloud shadows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this, because I've been watching. So here, I'm going to get that to blur off. So I'm just pre-wetting some of this. You will see how that works when we pop in these shadows. So there are kind of, there we go, tree shadows coming in right the way across here. Here comes the sun. Oh, perfect timing, sun. Perfect. Thank you very much. Oh, some beautiful shadows. Oh, you just can't see them, but wow. They just blur off beautifully. Right the way across here, there's a beautiful just cloud shadow just moving along. It's capturing that motion, I guess. Absolutely glorious. I'm gonna go in a bit darker where the, these tree shadows are. Just might need to move the board up a bit so it doesn't run down. Tonally darker, I mean. Just popping in. Some bits there. Just get that to encourage that to run a bit. I want it to run this way. There we go. That's good. Fine. More shadows out along here. Some in here. 100% we've got some here, but we'll kind of mix that up. That's in this foliage. I want that indistinct, but there we go. Some of these ruts have got them as well. So we could suggest those in there, crossing over. Quite nice. Here there's a bit of a shadow. And then of course on the figure, and the dog, we will get their own little shadows in a second. We need to wait for that to dry. Just pop in a little bit of a shadow there on that figure. Just gonna work up around him. Just see what I need to do. Just drying this brush up a little touch. Do it. White coming there. So we'll just pop in. Oh, beautiful. The sun has come in at the right time. We need to pop in some of these bits. Thank you very much, sun. Just encourage the eye down here. That's why we're doing that. Yeah, beautiful shadow along here. Take a little bit of clear water and just blur that off a touch. There we go. That hasn't quite dried. I just wanted to take out some of this because we need to just organise down the base. A little bit warmer. Same three colours that was just introduced the burnt sienna into the mix. just to warm that up a touch. Should blur in there, okay. Just doing it. Warm that. Cooler up here. It's a big tree shadow gonna hit here. Just need to be careful it's behind this character. Just make sure that's anchored as it goes off. We're virtually done, guys. All that's left really to do is pop in a few highlights. Clear water. Just shake it out. Come back in. Just take out a bit of pigment. Same here. It's just guiding the eye in. Just taking out the pigment. Just guiding the eye in. That's enough. 2's probably enough. Maybe 3 max, and let that do its own thing. Now then, what we need to do is pop in these little shadows and then a couple of highlights. We're kind of sorted really. We're going to make these dark shadows. Just anchor them in a little bit. Shadows are always useful. You've got figures or cars that have their own little shadow. Blur that one off. Couple of little touches here. Dry brush. Just bugging me that bit. I don't know why. Sometimes you look at things and you just think, that just needs tidying up. This finer brush brings in finer details. Just a little bit darker, push things back a bit. And then highlight time. I was going to take off the tape, but I've been looking at this and I just want to get some darker notes in. I need to be careful because there is a lot of cloud shadow coming in, but I just wanted to bring in darker notes in here. So that's what I'm going to do. Just to push a lot of this back and really focus on there, and that definitely works in terms of focus on these characters. We'll warm this up a little bit to push the rest back. We'll do that thing. We'll cool this down a little bit in the background here. So again, that can do its thing. And I know you think, whoa, that's strong, but it will, believe me, it will kind of dry off absolutely fine. There's also a patch here that was bothering me. I mean, it's quite nice from a textural point of view, but my eye kept going there. My eye kept going there. I want my eye to go here first and then start to look around. You know, it's kind of, you have to, you know, you are in control of designing the painting. Yeah. I'm just putting in this little darker patches here, just over here, not many. to kind of balance things up a little bit. Okay, now we can take the tape off when it's dry.